Hi, I'm Christine Cushing, and welcome to a very special helping of my favorite foods. Today, it's all about the Toronto Raptors Championship colossal T-bone steak, reverse seared. Let's go. It's gonna be epic. What do you make for a team, the Toronto Raptors, that just won the NBA championship? It's something epic. This is a colossal T-bone steak. It's about 3 inches thick, 1 3/4 kilo, 4 pounds, fit for a champion. And I want to show you how I'm going to reverse sear it so that it's perfectly cooked all the way through, a nice crispy outer Maillard reaction, lots of flavor, and it's going to be unbelievably memorable for a champion. Are you ready? Let's go. So first step in reverse searing my T-bone steak is I've taken it out of the fridge. It's got to come to pretty much room temperature. And the reason for that is I want to start with a room temperature steak because that way it's going to cook evenly. When your steak is cold in the middle, it takes a long time to heat up. So what I'm going to do is just oil it slightly. And this is pretty much, these herbs are for visual. But the other thing that they do add, I'm just going to crush them with my hands. By doing that, you should smell this. It's unbelievable. It really brings out the oils in those herbs. So it is a visual thing, but it does add a little bit of flavor. So I'm going to give it a little anointing with this olive oil on all sides. You'll notice that it's a little bit dark on the outside. A couple of reasons for that. This has been dry aged for 4 weeks. That means super tender, lots of flavor. But also when I got it from my butcher, what I did is I kept it outside of the package, so no paper around it, and that's gonna help us repel that moisture on the outside. Oh, look at this. So I wanna season it. This is kosher salt. Seems like a lot, but this is a huge piece of meat. Is this a steak for a raptor or what? Look at that. Oh, it's so phenomenal. I can just imagine the flavors now. Also good idea to salt probably at least a half hour before you're going to grill it. Salting copiously on all sides. After the salt, I'm going to hit it with a fair bit of cracked black pepper. Not too fine, because it will get bitter, on all sides again. So let's do a little housekeeping. Right now, I am going to do this on the barbecue. What I call a barbecue, it can be charcoal, it can be gas. So I know you guys out there, if the meat isn't touching fire, all of a sudden, it's not grilled. It's a barbecue, it's a grill, it's going to be a gas grill. Just saying in advance. Other thing to keep in mind here, this is really all about the meat. Salt, pepper, a bit of olive oil, that's it. There's not going to be any sauces, no bells, no whistles. The meat is the star. It's the champion. Don't be going and putting on any barbecue sauce because I am going to have to like jump through there and slap you. No barbecue sauce. What is reverse searing and why are we doing it? So right now I've got my barbecue at a low temperature. I preheated it first, then I put it right down to a low temperature at about 275 degrees. What reverse searing is going to do for this big piece of meat, it's going to slowly cook it in direct heat to evaporate that moisture from the surface. And then at the end, I'm going to just crank it right up to get those flames to really get that beautiful outer coating. So it's low, slow, steady, just like a championship team. And at the end, you bring the huge fire and you win the game. And then you hoist the trophy. That's what we're going to do. So where I'm placing the steak right now, underneath is no direct heat. The heat is all coming from around. That's important. About 20 minutes in, I flip the steak so it cooks evenly all the way through. And now again, I'm making sure that it's on indirect heat. So I'm not getting those grill marks and I'm not cooking the surface yet. Once I get an internal temperature of 110 degrees, roughly 15 less than what I'm aiming for, now I crank the temperature and move the steak right onto direct heat to caramelize the surface on all sides. Flavor! Now finally for the win, I stand it right up on the bone to get as much heat as possible to the meat closest to the bone. It's time to slice this baby up. So it's been resting not for too long. I got it to 120, so it's gonna be a little bit on the rare side. Let's slice it up. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do here is take off the tenderloin. So look at that caramelization on the top of this beautiful, fairly thick, very happy with that cooking. Who wants some strip loin? It's massive, right? It's for a champion. It's for the Toronto Raptors. So I aimed here for between rare and medium rare. As you get a bit closer to the bone, it's a little bit rare, but that is looking great. So definitely finishing salt on the end because this is a huge piece of meat, right? So you have to do that. Look how spectacular it is. A little bit of rosemary again, just for visuals. This cut of meat. I mean, hello. Now the culinary champion has to have a taste. Look at how beautiful this strip loin looks. So when I talked about this whole reverse sear, check that out. Look at it. It's perfectly even all the way through. That's why you do this, right? There's no grayness. You just have that brown caramelization, but it's perfectly cooked all the way through. Champion. Amazing. Flavor so great, so tender, perfectly cooked all the way through. You gotta try this championship reverse seared Toronto Raptors colossal T-bone. See you next time on another helping of my favorite foods. Be sure to subscribe. Let me know what you think of the reverse searing. Let me know if you think what the Raptors are going to think about this. And see you next time on My Favorite Foods.